Do you find that when you're watching a rap battle, these battlers are crafting and constructing their rounds differently depending on the round? So it's not like they just write to their heart's content. They're actually
Yeah.
saying certain things in the first round, or they're structuring their verses differently in the first round versus if it's the last round.
Yeah, so I made a video. This is another thing that's kind of part of the blogger side too. Just because I couldn't really find like another dimension to add, and like four is my favorite number, so I just wanted to keep it at four parts. But I made a video or made a series called Battle Rap Tactics. This is all about breaking down the science of battle rap and how to like, maneuver your way through around the ring when it comes to like round placement, when it comes to references, when it comes to diversifying your punches and stuff like that. And I think the one that caught a lot of traction was round placement. I think that there's an art in knowing how to place particular moments and particular rounds in certain areas. I feel like there's certain battlers that are strategic and that do set up their rounds a certain way, and I feel like there's just certain battlers that don't really know how to structure their rounds. And you can kind of see it with how they cut their rounds at the end, or maybe they have an angle that they should have put in their third, they have in their second or first. Like certain tactical things like that. I feel like the best battle rappers in the world have those particular things that they, structure in that way. I use Jazz the Rapper, for example. Jazz the Rapper had a perfectly executed second round for Vixen. I feel like she intended to have that second round there because she knew it would be a deflating round going into the third, right? When it comes to Geechee Gotti, right? I feel like he strategically placed his first for Tay Rock there, even though that could have been his third for the battle, because that's one of the ones where you're trying to deflate anything that he has to say preceding his round, right? And then you have someone like Ilmac who specifically puts his conceptual round against Big K in the third round because he wanted that lasting impression because he knew he had the last word. I honestly think that it depends. It's a case by case scenario thing, and I also think it depends on the type of battler that you have. Someone that battles straight up, like I'll use this. I feel like he's like one of the best straight up battle rappers. Like, not to say he doesn't use strategy, but I feel like he can just beat you off of just being great. Tay Rock, right? I honestly don't feel like he purposely intended to have the second rounds be his best round. I think that just became a thing that just happened on its own. I think that what primes that is the fact that he has such a competitive nature. So anytime he's down 1-0, that second round just so happens to be where he has the most intensity, you know? So or another example is Rum Nitty. I don't feel like he purposely like tries to place his best round at a certain spot. It's just delivered a certain way, you know? So but yeah, to answer your question, I do feel like there's certain battlers that try to set up certain things. Like Hollow Don is known to be very strategic. And he's a person that I feel like not only has his rounds structured a certain way or the round placement structured a certain way, but he's a person just like Disaster that have sections of material that they place in certain areas. Like they may have like a section of their round that they may take out of there and place it somewhere else because it applies, you know? He did that versus Charlie Clips. When he kind of seen that there was traction behind the style breakdown of Clips, but he thought about going a different area. But then he kind of brought it back to the same concept that he was talking about Clips before in the first round. That was an on the fly thing. But there's not that many people that are that talented to do something like that, and that's a huge risk as well too. Um, but yeah, round placement and also structuring rounds. I feel like there's people that are like proficient when it comes to that. That's where you get like those magical moments. Then there's just people that just write great bars, and and that's okay too. But I feel like a lot of those proficient people when it comes to ring IQ and structure usually win battles off of that alone. So